Gardaland in Italy is home to one of Europe's most famous rides, such as Oblivion, the Black Hole, which is a more modern version of the first B&M dive coaster, I have to say, and Raptor, the first ever wing coaster. And in today's video, I'm going to be looking at whether Gardaland is actually the most themed park in the whole of the Merlin collection. Because obviously, you know, Merlin own a wide range of theme parks here in the UK. I'm actually going to be excluding Legoland parks in this video because I feel like they're kind of their own separate entity to what the other parks like Thorpe Park, Alton Towers have on their kind of resume. But you know, so I hope you enjoy. If you do, then please subscribe and let's get into the discussion. So a bit of context. Merlin itself is split into various different regional businesses, instead of just being one kind of business itself, because Merlin is split into its UK portion and its Europe portion. So obviously that means that different parts of the business will be allocated different funds, and therefore as the UK Merlin kind of bit has more to it. It'll obviously receive more funds from the higher ups at Merlin, but obviously it will be a bit less kind of direct, and therefore that's why I think that Merlin Europe, which obviously includes Gardaland and Heidi Park in Germany, which also looks like a good park, which is, I think Heidi Park in Germany is kind of like a smaller version of Gardaland, but it has some good rides, like Colossus as its main wooden coaster. But yeah, I think, so where do we start? Well, I think we have to take it back to the Swarm at Thorpe Park. I know this is in the UK, but we're going back. So yeah, Raptor has kind of the same kind of vibes as the Swarm. It's kind of this kind of wrecked kind of site. And then at the end of Raptor you have this kind of quadruple head chopper, which is really cool. And then also it's just kind of the kind of shipping container kind of factory kind of vibes. That's because in the station you kind of have these like machines that are kind of operating, and there's kind of a bit kind of warehouse, you know. There'll be a picture of the station just so you can see, but yeah, that's what I've kind of got out of what Raptor is like. I mean, they probably inspired the Swarm somewhat. I think Swarm does what they do better, because it kind of has the plane and the fire truck and the helicopter and the van and whatever. But I think Raptor is kind of was a very good starting point for Merlin to kind of figure out what they wanted to do with their wing coasters. But yeah, I also think that Oblivion, the Black Hole, is definitely more themed than its UK counterpart, Oblivion. Creative name choices, I know. But yeah, you had kind of the first drop is kind of this black hole, unsurprisingly, that's kind of pulling the van and the wind thing, and it's kind of got this kind of weird dystopian atmosphere. That's what I get. Obviously Space Vertigo is a drop tower, which I'll come on to the other rides instead of the coasters later, but Oblivion kind of has that vibe. And then you also kind of the station is a bit, you have these like LED lights and stuff that could just be for lighting, but I think it's another like kind of interesting viewpoint of what the theme is about, because it's not a heavy theme, but I think what they do is they do better than Oblivion, because Oblivion, I have to say, is not very themed. It just kind of has the Lord of Darkness, oh, you will not survive, blah, 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 this is only one way out, blah 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 blah. But yeah, so that's the main two coasters. Then you also have Shaman, which is a Vekoma looping coaster with vest restraints, which is quite awkward. But yeah, I do have to say the vest restraints on Shaman are not the smoothest, I have to say. There is, and the ride itself just has some really awkward jolts in it, and that just really hurts. It just catches you off guard and completely just. Although that's not the focus on this video is the theming, not the actual rides themselves. I will be doing some other long form videos, which I'll probably mention those rides a few more times. But yeah, so in terms of the theming for Shaman, there's not really much about it. It's kind of this just green kind of color scheme. But yeah, it looks good overall. They have the fountains in the middle of the helix at the end with obviously you have the Wolf Legend nearby, which is a Croc Drop kind of clone, but they made it purple for some reason and had a wolf instead of crocodile, unsurprisingly. But yeah, kind of the presentation of that is really good. And then also if you move on to Blue Tornado, which is even worse ride experience than Shaman. If you do not know, it is a SLC, which stands for Vekoma Suspended Looping Coaster. And all I have to say is this ride deserves to be nuked, and I'm not exaggerating. It is if you think Infusion is bad, you should see that. Okay, right. Okay, this crash out is going to be delayed because I have to talk about the theming, and the theming on Blue Tornado is actually really good. On top of the station, you have this fighter jet, which looks quite good, and then also, but to be fair, apart from that, it's not really much. It's kind of this airplane kind of vibe, because the Blue Tornado plane and whatever. The theming is a bit weird apart from that, because it's not really much. It just kind of has this weird cattle queue line, which is awful. And I didn't have to wait much in that, to be fair, because when I went, the only time I went on it, thank God, was 8 o'clock at night, so it was fine. Oh yeah, just mentioned quickly, the Gardaland opening hours are very good. It opens till 11 on all summer holidays. Take notes, Merlin UK. Sorry, I forgot they lost 500 million. Okay, they can't do anything now. Although, to be fair, they did announce today that they have early opening hours for Walton's House, so I guess that's good. But anyway, but then you also have in Gardaland Mammut, which you can't, if you haven't worked out already, is Italian for mammoth. So as you can tell, it's a snowy kind of theme. Obviously, it does not feel like snowing when you're in the queue line, because it's absolutely bloody hot. It's 31 degrees, and unlike Penguin Trek at SeaWorld Orlando, you do not get the comfort of being air conditioned, which is one thing I really do not like about Gardaland. It is not very air conditioned. I like the most of Italy, to be fair, because Florida and Italy are very different in terms of how they are cool. Because I think in Italy they're kind of just yeah, whatever, it's hot, deal with it. Whereas I think in Florida, have to have air conditioning in every single thing. There could just be some finance, whatever. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, in terms of Mammut, and this really nice entrance sign. It's kind of this 3D, has snow on top of it, and also I kind of get Big Thunder Mountain vibes from it. Obviously on a much budgeter, that's not a word, much less budget. It does this kind of rock work and kind of tunnel kind of vibes really well. It has 3 lift hills, which is quite awkward, but it is another coaster. I don't even know the manufacturer. It'll be up on the screen now. It's probably another Vekoma, but you know. But yeah, it's just a nice family coaster. It has the nice Zero car, but yeah, that's also very nice. Then also we come on to Dragon Rush, which used to be a Kung Fu Panda coaster, but then the license ran out and they had to change it to a kind of standard Chinese theme. But yeah, that is a Wild Mouse. But it's actually quite a good themed Wild Mouse. It has kind of the nice queue line with has a bridge on it for some reason. It's not high at all, it's just kind of a walkway thing you find in playgrounds and stuff. But it has this nice kind of plants and ropes and stuff. It's really nice. But yeah, have I forgotten any other coasters? I don't think so. So we come on to the kind of main atmosphere vibes of the theme park. So I've talked about the main coasters now, but I think I should get on to the actual kind of just the ambience. And then my first point, I'd have to say the 4D cinema is the best themed 4D cinema I've ever seen. You have this massive facade which looks like Mount Rushmore, with the 5 faces. It looks really good. I've never seen a 4D cinema that themed well in my life. So yeah, props to Gardaland for going all that effort. And then also you have this kind of temple thing as a restaurant, which we went in there a few times. But yeah, that facade is really nice. And then you also have Jumanji the Adventure over there as well, where there's really kind of you find, I don't know what the name of the animal is, but you find that animal in the world of Jumanji at Chessington. It's instead like on the facade of the ride, which is actually really good. And then also you have this wolf legend, as I said before, but that's kind of new. It was a new addition because they placed the kind of forgot what the name would be on screen, but it was really old and kind of weird coaster. It went like it was kind of like this, and it went like that. I can't remember what the name of the coaster is. Sequoia Magic Loop. That's it. Just remembered. Before I said it in, that's more work for me. Never mind. Anyway, you also have Animal Treasure Island, which I'll be doing a separate video on. Which is their new for 2025 dark ride, dark water ride kind of thing. It replaced iCrossari, which closed, obviously. And then, so yeah, I'll be doing a separate video on that, where it's kind of an upgrade or a downgrade. So I have to be subscribed to see that. And then also, you have just this kind of really, I don't know, the areas themselves are really nicely presented. Obviously, the kids area, Fantasy Kingdom, has this massive facade of Prezzamolo, the park mascot, who is really good. And then also just kind of they have this kind of tree in the middle of that area, and then but yeah, the areas themselves are really well presented. You also have this kind of area outside, which isn't really a themed area in itself, but you have this kind of carousel and a few kids rides, and then you also have this Wild West area, which is also really nice, which is next to Oblivion, but then it also kind of leads into kind of the entrance part of the park. And also, I forgot to mention, Peppa Pig Land is also at Gardaland. Now, Merlin in the UK actually wanted the license to Peppa Pig, but they were too late because Paulton's Park were like, nah, we're on that. You can screw off. We're going to have the IP for Peppa Pig, and you have to deal with it. So Merlin were like, okay, we'll settle for CBeebies Land, and that's how it is. But yeah, Peppa Pig Land, I never actually went in there, sadly. I know, I'm sorry, I had 2 days at Gardaland. I didn't even go to Peppa Pig Land once. I should have done, although to be fair, the Peppa Pig Land at Gardaland is a bit less kind of spacious, not spacious, but there's less rides, and it's kind of just a miniature version of the one at Paulton's Park. But yeah, so overall, do I think Gardaland is the best themed area in the UK? I would say yes. I believe that the well-presented areas, and also it's kind of more looked after than the other Merlin parks. It's much kind of taken care of. I would compare it to a Paulton's Park level. I think Paulton's Park is slightly ahead of Gardaland, but I think Gardaland is also ahead of the other UK parks. But yeah, also you have this nice entrance. Also, the old entrance has this kind of clock thing, which was actually broken on my boat. Let's talk about that. But yeah, it's kind of really nice, like shrubbery, and you know, it's just much nicely presented. Obviously, I've been playing videos throughout the video. The videos throughout the video of kind of the overview of the areas and stuff. Unless I've missed out anywhere, I've talked about Dragonland, talked about Animal Treasure Island, talked about Fantasy Kingdom, talked about what have I not talked about? I don't think I've not talked about anything. I'm thinking about areas whilst I'm talking. So yeah, I'm gonna do the outro now, and if I think of anything, I will say. So thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy this video, then please do subscribe, as I said before. There'll be more Gardaland long forms coming out in the near future, so obviously be tuned, stay tuned, be tuned, I don't know, so don't miss out on those, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheerio!